Don Lemon has been confronted on the hypocrisy of white men being the most dangerous while he's married to one. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about former CNN anchor Don Lemon being confronted on the hypocrisy of white men are the most dangerous in the USA remarks while he is married to a whole white man and has been for quite a while. Now, before I go any further and get into the clip, let's back up a little bit. Now, we all know at one point Don Lemon was on CNN. He got fired. He was trying to find his way over on Twitter, now called X, and that didn't really work out. He pretty much got fired on his first day. There was an interview with Elon Musk that didn't go very well. It was kind of contentious, and I've not heard from him since over on that platform or, quite frankly, anywhere else. Now, he's on this podcast. That's not his show. And one of the questions was about the infamous comment some years back about white men being the most dangerous. Now, he's going to do some backpedaling here, and it's kind of crazy. We're going to get into it. So let's go ahead and just throw the clip on the screen. Of course, I will link to this clip and the full podcast in the box if you want to see it there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
So this, it's kind of an obnoxious Twitter handle, but it's End Wokeness.
Shout out to @EndWokeness on Twitter. These guys are fantastic. I don't know if it's a bunch of people or just one person. They have a great Twitter profile. Y'all, please follow them @EndWokeness. Check them out.
Tweeted something that said, the biggest threat to America is white men. And
now, this is his quote, Don Lemon, from 2018. The quote is, white men are the biggest terror threat in this country. That's his quote from 2018.
You said this was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
And then they put that right next to you
and my husband,
with your husband, who happens to be a white man walking down some stairs. And then it said like Don Lemon back in whatever year it was, 2008.
Is this
so the thing is, the hypocrisy is real. You say white men are the biggest terror threat in this country, but you're a black man saying that married to a white man. So I would think if I was to say something like that, maybe my domestic partner or whatever is not going to be that race. It might kind of make sense because obviously you don't think they're that dangerous if you're married to them, but let's keep on going.
Last question, but it doesn't have to be, but I'm glad that you asked me that question because it
gives you the opportunity to address it.
No, it's not the opportunity to address it. It's, well, yes, but it proves what I said about internet brain and dunking on people and people wanting to sort of, have their own biases reconfirmed.
Now, the whole thing about dunking on people, I understand that. Now, I don't know the full context of which he was talking about, but sometimes people are quick to dunk on people and it's not necessary. It's kind of just bullying, but I don't think that's what's happening with you, Don Lemon. I think this was a legitimate cause for concern for your hypocrisy.
I said we were talking in the context of, I think it was around the time that Christopher Wray was testifying in front of Congress around that time. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about terrorism. And the biggest threat was not foreign terrorism. It was domestic terrorism. And that domestic terrorism is done by radicalized right-wing males.
Okay, so radicalized right-wing males, if that's the case and that's true, I'm not saying that it is or it isn't, but if that's the case and that's true, why do you need to put white in there? You see, your quote was white men are the most dangerous. You said that. Now you're saying that it's about radicalized right-wing, all this and that. That's not the same thing at all. Even if most of these guys are white, that's not what you said. You said white males.
You said white men.
I said white men, and I said mostly radicalized to the right. Yeah. And then the FBI director said the exact same thing. So I don't understand why people don't understand that.
Now, the FBI director, who was this at the time? All right. Now, we all know how the federales are. We don't trust the federal government. We're not really big fans of the government. So you trying to say that the FBI director said that is not really a good look for you. You might as well say Joe Biden said it or Kamala Harris said it. So what? We don't like them either. You're going to be in the same boat as them.
I don't get it. I didn't say all white men were the biggest terror threat.
I suppose to a lot of people, now correct me if I'm wrong here, would say that if you flipped that the other way around, that would be like like hate speech. That would be this, that would be that.
Of course it would. You put anybody else in there, it doesn't even matter if it's true. You say something about black males being the biggest threat of urban violence, gun violence, or whatever, which would be true. But if you said black males specifically, then that'd be considered racism. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I think at this point, black males, heterosexual black males, might be on the same page as white males when it comes to media bias, but that's a different story. And for now, I digress.
What do you say to?
Well, I don't know. I think if you mean if there were black men, if black men were creating the, were the biggest purveyors of domestic terrorism, then okay.
Nah. We're not really buying that too much. We're not buying that because first of all, you're trying to assign black men to a thing that they are not assigned to, because you just said that white men are the biggest purveyors of domestic terror. You said that. So then you're trying to make a hypothetical that doesn't exist. And from what you said it's white men that do it. Now you're trying to put black men in the same thing. But how about a thing that you can actually put to black men that's realistic, like urban inner city violence? That's going to be majority black men that engage in that. Now, you guys, when you were on CNN, would never do that. You would never say it on air. Nobody would allow you to say it on air. That wouldn't be a thing. Okay, so let's not play games. Let's not act like we don't understand what he's trying to say. What he's saying is 100% correct. Any other racial group, that'd be a problem. And as I said, things are kind of changing now. If you're a heterosexual black male, you don't really get a lot of love on television, which is why Don Lemon is so coveted by some of these networks. But I digress.
That would be the facts. Those are facts. I don't understand why, especially I didn't hear, I do a little, but not as much. I don't hear white women getting upset about that. I don't hear black women or black men. They all go, yeah, well, that's true. White guys get mad, but it's the truth.
Now, the thing is, the reason why people are going to get upset or why white guys are going to get upset is because you're attacking white guys, and it's racism. The same way, if you get on TV and say something about black guys, you're going to have more black guys to get upset because it's about them. I mean, the group you are targeting with racism is going to be more offended than anyone else. All right. It doesn't make sense for a group that's not who you're talking about to be more offended than who you're talking about. This guy, man, I don't know. Like journalists, they're not really good. These TV guys, people that went to college, a lot of these people that get a lot of attention aren't very good.
I thought that tweet was a little bit kind of just like clearly trying to slam dunk
Yeah, it
you.
was trying, but it's also like, again, it's gotcha. But
that one was a gotcha. I would agree. That one was a gotcha.
But again, it's, hey, I married a white guy because that's who I fell in love with. I did not say all white men were terrorists, but that's what that tweet is trying to get you to believe. That's what the criticism is. That's what happens in conservative media because they are what? They want to gin up fear and they want to demonize me.
Oh, really? Is that what it is? Is it conservative media that does that? It gins up fear. Now, if I turn on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, etc., all the alphabet letter news outlets, what are they going to say 24/7? January 6th, C-19. You talking about drumming up fear? Talking about some, if you don't get the vax, your grandmama gonna die. Wear a mask. If you don't wear a mask, you don't care about your meemaw. You want to go delete old people, all this, that, and the third. Y'all did that during the scamdemic. Even your former colleague, Chris Cuomo, has admitted to doing that. So don't do that. Don't say it's conservative media. You guys on the left media do that. That is 100% correct. We're just pointing out the hypocrisy of your own statements. You're trying to walk it back now, talking about, oh, well, it's about domestic terror. You said white. Why mention white at all? Just talk about the political characteristics and what they engage in rather than their skin color, because now we're engaging in racism and I'm not a fan.
They want to demonize me, one, because they think I'm on the left, two, because I was on CNN, and three, because it's easy to say, look at what this black guy is doing. Obviously, the racism is there because they're saying he married a white guy. And, they want to do it because it's easy.
You mentioned race. If you didn't mention white guys, then there wouldn't be a talk about race. You brought it up. You're trying to say that they're being racist when you are the one to open the door to racism. This is gaslighting at best. Don Lemon, come on, man. And the thing about it is, you know what? I was rooting for you. I was rooting for you. I'm gonna leave it right there. But I was rooting for you when you had your Twitter show. I was like, you know what? He might go back in the day on CNN when he was talking about things we need to do in the community, pull your pants up, all this and that. I was rooting for you that you might go back that direction, but all you kind of did was just double down on the same old CNN nonsense. It's really, really unfortunate. But as I close, I want to say this. The lesson here is don't lead with racism. You can't lead with race and then complain when you get race thrown back at you. You open the door to it. So that's just what it is. Now, if you didn't lead with race, if you're not race-based, if you didn't say white men are the most dangerous, then maybe you wouldn't be here right now. I don't care who you marry, quite frankly. You could be married to a white man, a white woman, a black woman, a black man. I don't really care. That's your business. But see, once you get into the race element, okay, now let's examine your life. Who are you married to? That's how it works. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on what Don Lemon said here? Are you buying it, not buying it? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm not buying what Don Lemon is trying to tell me. Not at all, not in the least bit. And this is really crazy for him to try to spin it like this. I think we all heard what we heard. It is what it is. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.